Bear with me one moment. Okay, can you both see my screen?
Yep.
Awesome. So this call, of course, is being recorded, but welcome to both of you. This is my most effective tool to give you a holiday season that's going to have you feeling confident in your party dress and proud of your vacation selfies. And I do have to tell you both that the call is recorded. And of course, I know both of you, but for those who will be listening on replay, which is going to be apparently quite a few, let me just do a quick introduction. My name is Stacy Portugal, and I help women just like you who struggle with sugar and carbs to gain control so you can easily pass up temptation and land at your ideal weight. Now, of course, ladies, as we know, this is the time of year when we're faced with so much temptation, while at the same time, we're so visible. You know, we've got holiday events, we've got vacations, maybe you're laying on the beach, we've got office parties, we've got traditions in our families that just really make us visible. And it's really the best time of year to implement the strategies that we're going to discuss today. But also know that both of you know this, that these strategies are useful at any time. That's really the truth. So, you know, as both of you probably know, I use a 6-pillar weight loss system with my clients. And it's really a way that I educate my clients so that they can build the skills that they need that are going to result in weight loss for the long term. And what we're discussing this morning is just a really tiny piece of this system right here. So just a few notes before we begin. Please put away your cell phones or other distractions to give yourself the gift of self-care. This call is going to be just about 45 minutes or so, and replays will be sent to your inbox. So for those listening on replay, please do follow this entire video, because much of the stuff that's in your workbook is, it's not everything is in that workbook. So it's really important to go through the steps that we're going to be going through today. And of course, in order to respect everyone's time, please keep your comments and questions to the point. Don't hesitate to use the chat box. So if you have a question that it pops in your head and you don't want to forget it, either write it down or just use the chat box for that. I don't think I'm going to keep you guys on mute since there's just a few of us this morning that are joining live. But, you know, if you notice that your workspace is not, if it's not quiet, just go ahead and mute yourself. So we are going to be using the workbook that was provided to you from your inbox. If it's not handy, don't worry about it. Just grab a pen and a few pieces of paper. Of course, participation is not required, but it is encouraged. And from my 11 years of doing this, what I have found is that people that participate and people who really, you know, talk to me, talk to other people, these are the people that really get the best results. So let's begin. So this time of year, we might all be feeling sort of overwhelmed with all the responsibilities that we have. We're shopping for gifts, we might be entertaining, vacation preparation and all the temptation and all that stuff that goes along with vacation, food preparation overall for like a busy schedule, planning for family activities, family or other stresses that people have this time of year. And sometimes the holidays are not always a happy time of year for some people. You might also feel concerned with how this time of year will affect your weight and your health goals. You know, there's temptation around every corner, in the office, public places, even the grocery store, even your doctor's office. There's holiday-related social events. Even I hear a lot about cookie exchanges. It's a very common tradition. And there's a lot of traditions that emphasize food. Also, the temptation when you're on vacation, but even when you're not on vacation, this time of year, because we get time off of work, maybe our schedules are way relaxed, we get this vacation mentality. And even the mental aspect of this time of year overall, the time away from your schedule, and then again, the vacation mentality that the holidays bring. So I can relate to this. I too struggled. I was on and off the diet merry-go-round for over 20 years. I finally got an education in order to help myself. And that education for me changed everything. I've been helping women lose weight and get healthy for the last 11 years. And I share what I've learned with my clients and my followers. So we're going to dive in right now. For those of you who are wondering what the BCC means after my name, it means that I'm a board certified coach. I specialize in wellness, and my niche is in weight loss, and I am certified in nutrition as well. All right, so let's dive in. So guys, what concerns you most about this upcoming holiday season? Either one of you, we're a small crowd, so someone jump in. What's on your mind first and foremost?
Well,
Anne, you want to start?
Sure. We seem to get in the same awful pattern. We go to Miami I stay for the whole winter, but the whole family comes down at holiday time. And we literally have a spreadsheet of all of our restaurant reservations that we're going to. Pretty much every night we go out for dinner because my husband likes to try the latest and greatest new restaurant.
Sure.
And so, yes, it is possible to keep yourself in line when you go out to eat. But then it's like, this restaurant's famous for its popovers, and this one is famous for its dessert. And it's always, oh, let's get one for the table. And, you can go in with the best of intentions, and then all of a sudden, you're just sliding the slippery slope into oblivion.
Absolutely. And that's, whether you're in Miami or you're vacationing somewhere else, or you're even here, you're taking a staycation. It's the reality of this time of year, for sure. And of course, there's lots of great restaurants in Miami. So all right. So that's really your primary concern, right, Anne?
Yeah, because I literally can't wait till everybody leaves, because then I'm like doing your detox afterwards.
Absolutely. No question. That 10-day detox is a lifesaver.
That's funny.
I would like to have 1 year when I don't have to do it.
People go through it. It's amazing.
Yeah, I'd like to have 1 year when I don't have to do it, because I kept myself together. But
absolutely, absolutely. All right. Okay. So, Claire, tell me about your main concern for this time.
Well, this time of I just found out last night that my son is going to be coming in from California, literally for 2 or 3 nights, and that's it. So it'll be a little crazy when he's here. But other than that, this is a really quiet holiday season for us. I mean, we don't have any fancy plans for Thanksgiving. I used to have 24 people at my house, every year. And, they've gotten married, different families families have their own families. It gets, everybody, it gets complicated because people get married and they move away. And so I'm actually kind of away on the other side, which is I'm worried about all the time I'm going to be alone. And I don't mean maybe totally alone, but in comparison to years past, this is going to be a very quiet time of year. I mean, we don't have any vacations planned. And I'm I'm just going to have to be really organized and sensitive to the fact that, you know, if I'm lonely or if I don't have anything specific to do, I shouldn't eat. I mean, I'm just going to have to make sure that I don't do that. It's been really, really good the last couple of weeks. So I've been able to just, you know, walk right through the kitchen and do and not eat things that are in front of me. But it's going to be more of a challenge over the holiday season because, I mean, even next weekend, my husband's taking our grandson to a hockey tournament, and I could have gone to New York for a family event, but it seemed insane for me to go by myself because, you know, my husband wasn't going to go, the kids aren't going to go, and it's like, okay, don't do that because it's just going to create more stress. And I think I need to keep stress out of my life because that's one of my triggers. And, you know, trying to organize things and be calm is going to be my real, it's going to be, you know, rather than temptation, it's going to be much more my problem this year.
So Claire, can I ask you a question? Because I think you're bringing up a really good point. Not everyone has the long to-do list. Not everyone is super engaged with the holidays for a variety of reasons.
Right.
I understand what you're saying. Like kids get, like I'm experiencing that now with my daughter too. Kids, you know, they spend time with their in-laws.
Right.
And, you know, things change, you know, once your kids start their own families.
Right.
I totally hear you. Has this been something that's happened in the past for you, or is this the first year you've really?
Well, it's been, I mean, my daughter's been married 15 years almost, which is crazy. But she's lived in Chicago the last 5. She's lived in California. But we had our little, you know, we had our, for X number of years, this was what we did. And for the next number of years, this is what we did. Well, my son's in-laws have family in LA. They live in Ann Arbor, so they go out there every year.
Okay.
You know, and so we haven't had I haven't had a Thanksgiving with my son in almost as long as I can remember. You know, maybe 10 years, you know, since I've had, well, maybe not that long, but pretty close. And it's, you know, but things change. What you said is things change when your kids are grown, and you know, and also the, you know, because I have no siblings, I'm an only child. My family moved to Florida, and they don't, so obviously they don't come anymore. And you know, it's just been a lot of changes in the last 5 or 6 years in what these holidays mean. And Thanksgiving was always my holiday. I always had everybody at my house. You know, I remember my father-in-law watching me because we had an open plan house. It was kind of like, where's my food? But
right.
You know.
All right, so okay, so that's definitely boredom and stress might be a trigger for you this
right.
holiday season.
Yeah, loneliness too.
Loneliness, yeah, for sure. Loneliness, boredom. Yeah, I can understand that. And Anne, what about you? What's been your experience in the past when your kids have come to Miami? What's the typical scenario in terms of, you know, you and your weight loss and health goals?
Well, I mean, I exercise every day, no matter what.
Great.
But, you know, the day starts out well. I'll eat, you know, a nice breakfast, whatever. But and then we get to dinner, and it's like, if you can't beat them, join them. and it just kind of gets thrown by the wayside. You know, it may not be the first dinner, but, you know, towards the 4th or 5th or whatever, you know, I have jumped in and, you know, gotten in the muck, so to speak.
Yeah.
But, no, it's like, I know what happens. I do the same thing every time. And then sometimes I'll just say to myself, oh, well, you know, it's this 2 weeks. It'll be over. They'll go, and I can get myself back on track and get myself together again.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, why do I have to get to that point and put myself through that? Why can't I just keep my shit together in the first place?
Right. Well, okay, so let me just interject there, because what I find is when you're faced with temptation day after day after day, you are likely to give in at some point. I mean, willpower is like a muscle and it gets exhausted. And you really almost have to get to the point where you're not making decisions. Decisions are made for you. So this is what I mean. So every single night you're sitting down to dinner and you're looking at that menu and you're in some sort of, you know, cool restaurant that everyone really wants to try. It's known for this, it's known for that, all good. But you're sitting down and you're making these decisions and you're being influenced by your family or the people that you're dining with.
Right.
And the way to make your willpower at its highest is to not be faced with a gazillion decisions. So you want those decisions made ahead of time. Now, on the flip side, Anne, and we're going to discuss all this more, it might be about readjusting your goals, you know, and saying to yourself, like you said, well, okay, it's 2 weeks, and maybe these are the restaurants I'm most interested in. But we're going to get to that in just a minute. So typically in the past for you, Anne, you just put on weight and just kind of sounds like you've gotten a little frustrated. Everything is good. It's really these dinner meals and trying all these restaurants and sort of being faced with it every single night. Am I right? Am I hearing that right?
Yeah. Nobody wants to stay home and just cook a nice dinner at home because I guess I'm not known for my cooking.
Vacation, right.
Yeah, you know, everybody wants to go out. This one wants, you know, Italian. This one wants whatever, and try all this stuff. And you know, I guess if I kind of go into the mentality like, you know, if you eat this, you will die. Like some people really can't eat certain foods because they have like a horrible condition, like they have to stick to a strict plan. I mean, I wish I could put myself in that mindset, like, you know, this is so bad for you, you know, you're going to go into a diabetic coma, God forbid, don't eat dessert all week.
But I news for you, sometimes people really do have those restrictions, but it's really hard for them to break the cycle of that sugar and carb cycle. It can be
because
really
that's my thing. I love sugar and dessert.
Me too.
You know, I would rather eat a good dessert than have a cocktail any day. I mean, I love a good dessert. So, you know.
All right, and then I just want to summarize for Claire that have you felt this feeling around the holidays in the past?
Well, yes and no. I mean, it's. I think that it's. For years we had the same, you know, we've kind of had what should I say, act one and act two, not including when we were really young, of what we do on New Year's Eve. You know, I mean, there's certain, you know, we're not big into a ton of traditions because our family is spread out, but we've had a few and they've changed, but they're kind of still around, but it's yeah, I mean, it used to be a lot easier. Holidays used to be a lot easier for me when people were close by, or when they were both away, and then we would go there. I mean, it's, you know, it's kind of like the scattered aspect of it is hard.
Okay, understandable. All right, so let's move on. All right, so let's put that all aside for just a moment, because now we're going to shift our gears and think about something else. And that thing is a goal. So as Anne said before, well, I could just like have fun for 2 weeks and then I know that they go, and then I go on the 10-day detox and I'm fine. I'm getting back on track. So before the holidays hit, you don't have to state it, but I want you to think about what your goals were when it comes to weight loss, when it comes to health, perhaps when it comes to fitness. And now I want you to think about setting a new goal just for the next 3 months or so. And how long that goal is going to be set for is going to be a personal thing. We've got November, December, January, but your holiday stuff, your craziness may go beyond January. So you have to kind of think for yourself in your own schedule. So let's set some really clear and succinct goals for this holiday season. And let me ask you both, do you feel as though your goals should be adjusted for the holiday season? What do you guys think?
Not necessarily, because again, there are, now, as I said, we have this change of our son coming in for a couple of days. And there are things going on with the kids. I know I'm going to have stuff with my grandchildren because they're going to go away New Year's week. But
so you're going to see them.
I think that, well, it's going to, the adjustment I'm going to have is more that, I work and that gets all weirded out around this time of year because people
Right. It gets very quiet. Yeah.
Yeah. What I want to do is I have some real goals for my own workspace that I want to, reorganize and, review, as it were. And I think that this might be a really good chunk of time to do that, to take care of that, because it'll keep me distracted, and it will, I can do it any time of day because I work at home, so I don't have to do it, 9 to 5.
And you're saying this is goals for your business?
Well, it ends up being a goal for myself because I'm very proud of myself to get it done. It keeps me out of the kitchen.
Sure.
I have this ridiculous layout in my house.
Well, I want to have you focus just for right now. I agree that could be a great strategy. But what I'm really focused on right now is your personal weight and health loss.
But what I'm saying is, right. But what it's going to do is
adjust them for this season.
Well, so I'm going to have to.
Example, guys. Wait. Here's an example. Okay. So if you normally, maybe you have a weight loss goal in mind, or maybe a fitness goal, you have to think about, is this goal a smart goal for right now? Is it real? Is it, I don't have my smart stuff in front of me, but you guys probably do. Oh, here it is. Is it specific? Is it measurable, achievable? Is it relevant? And is it time bound? So we're looking at this 3-month chunk of time specifically for health and fitness. Anne, what do you think about that?
I think, well, back in the day when I was on Weight Watchers, I guess, we always talked about don't expect to lose weight, don't, strive to gain weight. Even if you just sort of stay the same and not go either way, that would be a miracle.
Absolutely. And I got news for you. Maintaining your weight does take a little bit of work. So it's not so we don't have the attitude, oh, my goal is to maintain my weight, and then you're thinking, oh, I can eat whatever I want. Actually, you couldn't. So maintaining your weight is a very honorable goal if you're faced with a lot of stuff, even stuff being like boredom or loneliness or too much free time.
I guess, or just like saying, I'm going to restrict myself. No bread basket, no cocktail, but if I want dessert, I could have dessert. So it's like one of the 3 poisons I'll allow myself, but I won't have all of it in one meal.
That's awesome. I was actually just thinking that I can't remember the last time I took a roll out of a basket of bread.
Yeah, and you can just cut them off at the pass and say, don't even put it down, take it away.
Yeah.
Unless your family wants it. And when I'm with my family, I always take it away from me. Mm-hmm. It's always on their side of the table.
Yeah. And it has to be a really good bread in order to tempt me. Sourdough ain't going to cut it, you know.
Yeah. And guys, you can make goals based specifically on those kind of things. It may not be about your weight per se. It might be a behavior goal. Like, every night at dinner, I'm going to have no bread. It's going to be just an all or nothing mentality. I will have no bread. You know, going into the holidays, like anything else, it can really be about mindset. And so if you're not expecting anything of yourself, you know, and you're kind of opening the doors for anything, then certainly anything is going to happen. So we can use these goals to just set expectations. You know, I'm going to be faced with the same thing. We'll be vacationing with the kids for, I'll have all of them there for a week, but I too will be gone for a while on vacation. And, you know, so setting just some basic behavior goals. There is no bread basket. I don't care what the bread looks like. There is no bread basket because I know for me that's a slippery slope. So maybe you're going to make a small list of behavior goals that you will follow each and every day. And maybe, like Ann was saying, it's going to be about exercise. And you too, Claire, you're going to get in your exercise every day. Every day during the holidays, I'm going to structure my day, right, Claire? Because you're going to need some structure.
Right.
Yeah. So why don't you guys each take about a minute or so? We're going to pause for just a minute. Take a minute. I would like each of you to write down in your workbook what your new goal is. There's some space in your workbook for that. Since I can't see you, you can tell me when you're done, or I'll tell you when it's a minute. We got about 20 seconds left.
Okay.
Okay. Claire, just let us know when you have finished.
I'm done.
Great. Okay, so you both have written down your goals. And now let's sort of move on. And this is really my number one strategy. The bottom line is it's really all about planning. And the better you can plan, and really, and I mean plan to the nth degree, the events that concern you the most. So our next step, and this goes way deeper than the simplicity of, hey, let's plan. So I'm going to show you exactly what I mean by this. The next step is if you go down to, right now we're on page 5 of your workbook.
I don't have my work. I didn't do the workbook.
That's okay. That's okay.
Is it online? Is it online?
It was sent to your inbox when you registered for.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was on that same first email that allowed you to click into the call.
Okay.
So let's kind of think about our main concerns, and you both have expressed them perfectly. But we have quite a few people registered for this. So most people will be watching on replay. And at this point, I would want you to write down, just kind of summarize your 2 top concerns. And we're going to get back to that later. Go ahead. You've stated your goal. Now, in your workbook, and it's okay if you don't have it, you can grab a calendar or just write things down from memory. But these are blank calendars that you can see November, December, and January. And I want you guys to go ahead, write down your personal events. And actually, for Anne, what that's going to mean for you is you're going to want to write down every single restaurant you're going to. I mean,
yeah, we haven't compiled the list yet.
Okay, but there's a spreadsheet coming.
Oh, yes.
Okay, and then Claire, for you, you mentioned that you were seeing your grandkids. You also had some other goals non-related to health and fitness, and you may want to start filling in that calendar with scheduled work hours, like how you're going to achieve your work goal. So we're really going to use these 3 calendars, November, December, January. Any vacations, even a day trip, time with grandchildren, time with family. Maybe you're entertaining, going to parties, going to office celebrations, or any social events or anything going on in the next 3 months. So do you guys need time to do that?
Oh, I kind of have things in my head. I have Stacy in my head.
Awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm printing the workbook right now. So.
Oh, good. Okay. So I would go ahead. You can do this on your own time, but you're really going to want to fill in those calendars or use your own calendar. You're going to want to know every event that concerns you that you're going to need to plan for. So if you have a dentist appointment, you're welcome to write it in, but this is really going to pertain to things that could possibly get in the way of your health and weight loss goals. And it is even going to apply to downtime, to that loss of schedule, if you are concerned that that might lead to off-plan eating or, you know, a mindset that is not productive to reach any sort of health and weight loss goals that you've set for yourself. So you guys can do that whenever you want, but I want to move into specific events that you would like to work on. And it sounds like in this particular instance, Anne, you want to talk about maybe some restaurant strategies. Am I saying it right?
Yeah, you know, I've from you know, dealing with you, the word that jumps to mind is intention.
Yeah.
And you know, I need to talk through things with myself and say, number one, you know, like it has to be something amazing that I've never eaten before in my life, and plan that, okay, I am going to eat this dessert, or this side dish is like insane or whatever, and eat it because it's special. Or, you know, just looking at something like, if it's a chocolate chip cookie, it's not like I've never had one before. So why do I need to have it at all? You know, I know what it tastes like. There's no surprise, you know, so why do I need to be lured by something like that?
Okay, so we're going to dive deep into strategies when you're faced with a lot of temptation. And of course, these strategies are going to apply to parties and social events and all kinds of places. So that's a really good starting point. Claire,
yes.
Your main concern, is it just having more downtime and maybe a little bit of loneliness and a lack of a schedule? Am I saying that right?
That's pretty close. I mean, the point is that there is a lot of downtime, and I feel like I have so much to do, and it's one of these things where, I mean, for instance, it's kind of like doing your taxes, you know, where you go, oh my God, if I'd been organized all along, then this wouldn't be happening. If I knew what I was going to do, then I wouldn't have to worry now.
Well, we're going to get you organized, girlfriend.
But you know, when it comes to food, I mean, I have to tell you, I don't mind Ann hearing this because it's not, you know, I'm excited. I saw a number on the scale today that I can't remember the last time I saw it.
Yay!
I mean, it's only 1 pound lower than the last time I said that. So that's been about pretty close to a month. I would say, I mean, this has really been slow. I mean, I think I've lost 4 pounds since I've been with you. But
well, okay, so I'm going to put this out there.
But the point is that
who are listening is you don't have a lot of weight to lose.
No, I'm okay with it.
One of you do. So weight loss is slower when there is less weight to lose.
It's okay. I don't mind.
Amazing.
Yeah, I'm very excited about it, but when I think about it intellectually, I don't know the last time I had a piece of bread out of a basket.
And that's why you're losing weight.
Yeah, I can't remember the last. I mean, I have had drinks when we've gone out, but and I'm careful with what I choose to eat when I'm eating out. But I'm having a lot more veggies. I mean, when I'm hungry during the day and I work at home, I have bags of sort of different raw vegetables. And I grab the pea pods and I grab the little carrots and I grab the cut celery sticks. And I don't, if I'm, it's not like I do it every time I walk through the kitchen, but usually, and I've just come up with a method, but that's kind of been the go-to thing. I've been eating a lot of raw vegetables when I'm hungry, and it's not quite the same. It's a different experience, but it works, and
and it's a lot healthier.
And it's how and it's how I lost weight when I was a chubby kid and went into high school overweight. And that's
okay, so let's sort of get down to some planning. And Claire, let's start with you. So you're most concerned about downtime, not having a schedule, a little bit of loneliness.
Yes.
So and Anne, I want you to, be part of the brainstorming. So let's brainstorm some strategies.
And I did print the workbook. It's in my hand. So.
Great. Okay. So in your case, is there some things that you're going to be putting on that schedule? Because you did mention that you're going to spend time with your grandkids and your son is coming in.
Yeah. Well, for instance, this afternoon, my grandchildren and my daughter asked if I wanted to go and do some kind of a charitable Christmas present thing this afternoon at 4:00. I think it's going to be the three girls, my daughter, my granddaughter, and me. And I'm going to be going. And then we may meet everybody for dinner after. So I'm going to have to deal with dinner.
Okay. And we're going to do that with Anne.
But they're going to, that's the kind of stuff that kind of shows up or, go see a play or do something like that. It's not like they're going to, be moving in with me and spending 2 or 3 days at a time. It's really more events than it is, lengthy time periods. And with Ross, it's going to be, 2 nights and that's it, breakfast, lunch, and dinner for a couple of days. And that's the whole thing. Then he's gone.
All right. So here's my suggestion. I would, first of all, when I was losing my weight, I was in this pattern where I would diet all week long, like Monday through Friday. Yeah. And on Saturday and Sunday, or sometimes even starting Friday night, I would just let it all go to hell.
I won't do that anymore.
And so what that resulted in is maintenance. And I couldn't lose a pound. And I remember trying for months and really looking and saying, wait a second, like I haven't lost any weight. Mm-hmm. And so what it made me realize was if you just, and part of it was a lack of structure. It wasn't just the restaurants. It was also a lack of structure on the weekends for me. And because my kids were much younger then, and so they were all over the house. And it was
you're really busy, but it's nothing structured. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So when you lack structure, one thing I want to recommend always, if that's something that throws you, is create structure. Mm-hmm. And you can create structure by scheduling the things that are goal-making tasks. Goal-making activities. So what are some goal-achieving activities? Let's call it goal-achieving activities. What are some goal-achieving activities that can be done on a daily basis that provide structure in your day, but also they help you to work towards your goal? What are they, guys? Let's just shout them out. What are they?
Well, you make a set time for exercise every day.
Exercise.
You could set aside time to do some meal prep so you always have, what you're going to have for dinner that night. If you're not going out, you have something to turn to. And especially when it's cold and gross, you don't want to go out anyway. So at least you have something ready to go.
Yeah, I pretty
Love
much, yeah, what I do is, I mean, it doesn't always work this way, but I use the calendar on my computer, and I try to set up certain things in a way that it's repetitive. So every Tuesday, I try to do this, and I mean Mondays I do strength training nearby, so I go to Heinen's to go grocery shopping because it's in the same mall, and on Thursday when I go work out, I go by certain banks. If I have to do banking, I do the banking on my way home, that kind of stuff. But what I want to set up as I look around my messy office is what I would like to really get through. I have 4 weeks, in the next 4 weeks, I would really like to get this office done. So,
oh, you know what, Claire, that is a great idea because when you live in a cluttered environment, your brain is cluttered. Your environment really impacts your ability to think clearly.
Right.
So I think that's even like setting a small goal for yourself each day, like one drawer, one countertop.
Correct.
Great. I love that idea.
Yeah.
So far we have the habits that, optimize weight loss and health are exercise, meal prep, clearing up clutter. So cleaning up your environment. Now, by cleaning up clutter, it might be actual messiness, like in your office. It might also be clearing up your kitchen of junk food and stuff that tempts you every single day, like we were talking about.
10 minutes?
Pardon?
All right, love you, baby. Bye-bye.
Okay, so what I was talking about was clearing up clutter in your kitchen. So things that tempt you every single day, things that are really taking you off plan. And let me tell you something, when there is temptation in your kitchen, you have to say no to it every single day until it's gone. So what happens to your willpower then? Right? You're very likely to give in. So even cleaning up the clutter or the junk food in your kitchen, if your husband or children really like that stuff, go ahead, put it somewhere else so that they cannot get to it. Okay? So what other routines optimize weight loss and health?
If you're going out to eat, you go investigate the menu ahead of time. So you kind of go in with some sort of a game plan. And, you don't have to be anal that, oh my God, they're not going to have that fish special tonight. But you can have some flexibility, but just know what your optimum game plan is like, like we talked about, not having the bread. Maybe instead of having the potato or the rice, you'll get a double vegetable. And then if you want dessert, not such a big deal, maybe share it.
All right, so that all sounds like great strategies, Anne. So you're going to decide what you're ordering ahead of time. So before you're faced with temptation and before you're influenced by other diners, you're going to make the effort to decide what you want before you even step foot in the restaurant. You're going to make those decisions while your mind is clear. Now, the only thing I want to say to you, Anne, is if you're going to be gone for 2 weeks and you're sharing a dessert each and every night, I'm just asking you personally, I'm not setting you up for anything. Is that a slippery slope for you?
Yeah, but, I hopefully with what I've learned from you, I can incorporate the intermittent fasting, just trying to at least give myself any slight glimmer of a chance of surviving here.
Absolutely. So you can use intermittent fasting as a strategy, and you could start incorporating that into your daily routine, knowing that the night before, and you would almost just have to make a very clear-cut rule with yourself that if dessert is being ordered, you are limited to, 2 bites or whatever it is. Because if you start eating the whole dessert, what I'm afraid of is the next day, all those cravings come right back, right?
Yeah.
So that's really what I focus on with my clients, is to help them get past those cravings and the strategies that we use to achieve that and to maintain that. So I just don't want to see you go back into that slippery slope. However, you're also bringing up another really good point that deserves some discussion, and that's the idea of enjoying your food and being intentional. So, for example, if you go to a place and they have like desserts, and I've seen this a gazillion times, right? There's an abundance of this stuff. Yeah, okay, the chocolate cake looks really good. Chocolate cake a la mode looks really good. But to tell you the truth, I get it all the time. I can have it anytime I want. It's not feeling so special to me. I'm not being drawn to it. I think tonight I'll stay back. And then maybe another night, they're ordering something that's really cool, that looks really amazing, and everyone's enjoying it. And maybe you're saying to yourself, I want to be part of the group. I want to enjoy this experience with my family. And then you're allowing yourself a certain amount, and you're being intentional. And there's just joy and no guilt. And
Right.
you know, the next day, in your back pocket, you've got intermittent fasting. And that's going to get you right back to your low-carb self the next day.
And I remember also I had a Weight Watchers leader that said, you know, like Americans, you know, we reserve these special foods for these holidays. So, you know, like you go crazy on the stuffing and the sweet potato casserole and the green bean casserole and all this stuff. And she said, you know, if you were to make this stuff during the year,
Absolutely.
on just a random day, it wouldn't be so special. You can have it anytime. It doesn't mean, you know, because it's on the holiday, you got to gorge on this because it's the only time in your life you're ever going to get this food.
That's absolutely right. And there's a name for that in the world of psychology, and it's called the abundance versus the scarcity mindset. And that's a really good point, Anne, because if it's something you know that you've seen a gazillion times, or that you can recreate yourself and it would be just as delicious when the time is right, then there's no need. As soon as you let go of, I can never have this. This is only allowed at, you know, Christmas, Hanukkah, New Year's, Valentine's Day, whatever. Then all of a sudden we get into a scarcity mindset, and scarcity is what leads us astray.
I would say that, I would say that the scarcity mindset is for me, would be the absolute main reason why I have trouble being successful, or I have had trouble being successful, because the first thing that comes into my mind when I look at, not so much anymore, you know, for the last couple of years, but it was always, I can't do that. And you can't, if you do that, then it's in your head, and it's temptation, and it's crazy.
Well, and yeah, and it's looking at food. It's not about what you cannot have. It's what you can have, what you choose to eat in order to achieve your health and weight loss goals. That's what it's really about. You know, I've had many people say to me, and believe me, I eat plenty, as, you know, everyone knows who's with me. I eat plenty of food. But I've had people say to me, because people sometimes notice that I'm not diving into a breadbasket and I'm not indulging in dessert on a regular basis. So sometimes people say to me, God, you know, you live your life and you're so deprived. Don't you feel deprived? And I say, no, I don't feel deprived. I choose to eat this way. This is the way that keeps me healthy, keeps my gut healthy, it keeps my mind healthy, keeps me healthy. I choose this. And if there are times that I want to indulge in that breadbasket because that bread looks amazing, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it with intention, and I'm going to love every minute of it, and then it's over. Because I can have the breadbasket anytime I want. I'm not in chains, right? I could do it anytime I want. So thinking about the idea of viewing these next 3 months from a lens of abundance, and what really, you know, we all have resources. We can go to restaurants anytime. We can go to We can have holiday foods anytime because we can cook in our own kitchens. So you have to sort of decide what's really worth it, you know, because maybe it's important to you, you know, to have these special Christmas cookies that are a family tradition and you all make them together, you all eat them together. I can understand that. You know, we don't want to let go of traditions, but sometimes there are some traditions that really overemphasize food. So you really have to think about what's real. You know, what is really something that I'm not going to be able to enjoy beyond this point? And what are the things that I really want to enjoy? And how am I going to manage them so that I don't turn, you know, that slip up into an avalanche? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else that comes up for you when it comes to the holidays? We have just a couple of minutes.
No, this was great. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay. So for every event, what I would suggest is to brainstorm some strategies just like we did. Go a step further, as you'll see in the workbook, and even start making your to-do list. If you're entertaining, if you're taking the grandchildren somewhere, is there anything that needs to be done? If, you know, you're going to be with your families, how are you going to make that time special? And maybe it's not all about food. Maybe it's going to be sharing in an event together. Make sure that you address your main concerns and always be mindful of what your actual goal is. So ladies, thank you so much for joining me today, not tonight. And really, it's my mission to create communities just like this, where we empower each other to reach our goals. So thank you once again.
Thanks, Stacy.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I will see you all next time.
Thanks, Stacy.
Take care. Happy holidays, everyone.
You too. You too.
Bye.
Bye.